Hi Taurus, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for the final week of January. I hope you guys are all well. I'm going to take a quick second to remind you that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Taurus out there. So guys, take what resonates for you and just leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, Taurus, get in where you fit in, even if it's on the other side. But as always, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Taurus? Taurus. All right, Taurus, you are starting out with the Ace of Wands in the reverse. You have the King of Swords in the reverse. And the Devil in reverse. So some sort of a karmic cycle or a karmic lesson is being experienced here. I do feel like you're trying to work on yourself. You're trying to remove yourself from something that you kind of got caught up in. For some of you, you felt very enchanted by some sort of situation, but it wound up being toxic. And so you're working on yourself. You're removing yourself from this. For some of you, this could be some sort of, addiction of some sort, but regardless, whatever it is, it was very toxic and you're removing yourself from it. It could be requiring that you are no longer talking to certain people. I do feel like there's an ending that has taken place here. And I feel like you don't want to talk about that. You don't want to discuss it with anyone. It's more of an energy of you just working on you right now. Let me see who's in your energy. I find it, I'm seeing that you find it hard to be completely honest with yourself about some of this. So that's something that you can look at and see if that resonates with you. All right, so the person in your energy, we have the World. We have the Emperor in the reverse. And we have the King of Wands. You could be dealing with a business owner or somebody who is in a position of authority. If so, there's something here that's ending for this person. It could be business related. They feel like everything is out of control. They feel like, that there's a cycle here that's ending in their life, but it's shattering. And it's difficult for this person. They may be trying to control the situation. I do feel like this is somebody who can be very controlling. They can be kind of mean in the way that they try to control the situation. This would likely be somebody you're not discussing this with. King of Wands, this person is being proactive though. This is likely a very attractive person. They are likely somebody who people do enjoy being around and somebody who is very charismatic. You could be dealing with a Leo, Sagittarius, and very strong Aries energy is here as well. So I do feel like whatever this is, it's a situation that's ending. There's a big change coming for this person, but right now they feel like their world is being shattered. Like everything has just spun out of control. And so they're trying to control the situation. They're trying to get on top of it, to be proactive. Let me see the energy between Taurus and this person. This person may not have been faithful to this connection, because I do feel that there's a sense here of you feeling this person is not faithful to you, or they weren't at some point, and there's a sense that you don't trust this person, that you feel that they are deceitful in some manner. And you could be planning to end this because you feel it's toxic. The energy between the two of you is the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So right now, neither of you are really investing in the situation. This person could be very impatient when dealing with you, or vice versa. But right now, neither of you are really putting a lot into this connection. I'm getting the feeling of somebody that is kind of coexisting beside each other, but not really interacting a lot with each other. Let me see what's affecting this connection. Show me what's affecting this connection. Five of Cups. Yeah, there's been a lot that's happened here. I feel like you don't trust this person, Taurus. You really don't. You feel like this person has needlessly brought in, you know, a lot of chaos, a lot of sadness. And I do see that you're sad. I do see that there's a sense here of feeling like things were destroyed here. And it does feel like it's because of sexual conduct on this person's side, not on yours. And this is why you're saying, no, I've got to get out of this toxic situation. This person in your energy, I do feel like they have some regrets. I really do. I feel like even though they're not investing in this situation, I also feel like they know they've caused a lot of harm here. Likely through third-party energy. And they actually do have, you know, emotions towards you. But it's, I'm seeing a relationship that's breaking down, and yet the two of you are still, like, somehow linked. This person definitely has regrets, though. Let me see, because the King of Wands can be a little bit of a player sometimes, you know? So your outcome is the Nine of Swords in the reverse. You don't want to deal with the energy that's going on with this person. This person is going through some sort of a huge chaos and change and things spinning out of control. You're saying, yeah, I've dealt with enough chaos with you. I don't want to go through any more. So I feel like you're kind of freeing yourself from a toxic situation that in the past has produced a lot of sadness and anxiety. And you're kind of coming out of that. But you're coming out of that through an ending here. You don't even want to talk to this person about it anymore. You don't feel like they're honest or truthful. I do feel like this person is being proactive. They're trying to handle some sort of situation that is rapidly changing. And they do feel like it's been a bit out of control. So bottom of the deck is the Sun card in the reverse. Strong Leo energy there. But that is the energy of not really knowing what's going to happen. Experiencing this sadness and unhappiness as well. And not really knowing how this is going to all come out, you know. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Ace of Wands in reverse for Taurus? The Lovers, there's that Nine of Swords, and the Devil, see? So yeah, this is ending because I feel like this person in your energy had choices between more than one person, and it caused a lot. It was toxic. You're dealing with somebody that has been very toxic, and unfortunately, where I'm seeing that you're having a difficult time kind of recognizing your own level of toxicity within the connection. So there is a need for you to kind of look at that. Where was I toxic in this connection? Because it can't be all on one side. And so I do feel like that you've experienced so much anxiety in dealing with this person in the past. I feel like you're now freeing yourself from all of that toxicity, but it's about a huge decision that you're making to end this, and you're ending it because you're dealing with somebody who had options with regard to love. They were choosing between you and someone else. There was toxic behavior. You were constantly in a state of anxiety, and I can see where you kind of pulled back. There's a lack of trust that's here. And so this has been a huge deal for you. And this is where we're looking at the karmic lesson or the karmic cycle that you're dealing with. All right. So why is the King of Swords in reverse? Okay. We have the Six of Coins. We have, there's that Seven of Pentacles again. So you're basically saying, look, I've said everything I need to say. You're not being honest with me. All I wanted was an equal give and take, because I feel like you've been very generous with this person. But now you're like, you know, it's either you or me, and I'm not going down with you. In whatever this situation is that spun out of control, I'm not going down with you. And so I've been so generous with you in the past, but now I'm pulling back. I'm not going to invest anymore. It could be investing in a business or investing in some sort of enterprise. It could be investing in this person. But regardless, you've pulled back. You don't even want to talk about it. You're trying to find balance in your own life. Let me see the bottom energy for Taurus. Why is the Devil in reverse? Page of Wands reversed. And the Knight of Wands. Yeah, you feel like this person is in and out. They're inconsistent. You feel like they're a player. You feel like they're not honest. And when things don't go their way, they have temper tantrums. They're childish, especially in the way they speak to you. And so you've been over here working on yourself, finding the balance in your life, Taurus. And at this point, you're basically saying, you know, I see you for who you are, and I'm freeing myself from this. I'm no longer going to participate in a toxic situation. I'm done with it. I can't deal with the anxiety that you're bringing into my life. And I feel like, you know, they're going to try to discuss it with you. I feel like you don't even want to talk about it. Let me look at their energy. Why is the World here? King of Cups reversed. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So this person has pulled back emotionally as well. They're no longer investing in the connection, and they could be a little unkind in the way that they are appearing, you know, in connection to this relationship. This is somebody who can come off as being cold and distant, emotionally unavailable, shut down. I do feel like they are having some financial issues, and it looks like it's related somehow to a business enterprise. I do see that this person, you know, is also in agreement that the connection needs to end. Neither of you are investing. You're both looking at an ending. But this person is being very emotionally distant. Let me see why the Emperor is in reverse. Okay, so we have the Four of Cups and we have the Three of Wands reversed. So whatever has spun out of control because this person wasn't, you know, acknowledging what was taking place. So they just kind of assumed that their ships were going to come in, that everything was going to be fine. If they just ignored whatever was spinning out of control, everything would just be fine. It would magically just resolve itself. They regret doing that now. They do. They are trying to look at the past. They're trying to say, okay, well, what happened here? You know, why didn't my ships come in? Why has everything gone out of control? So there's something that's going on in this person's life, and it looks financial. It could be like a job loss, I don't know, or a business that's going under. But this person is looking back and trying to figure out why everything happened. They do have some regrets. They're very sad. This transition is like devastating for this person, but there's definitely changes that are coming. They're not loving that, and it is going to affect them financially. Now, they're in this energy where they're kind of presenting to you as being cold, as being somebody who isn't even paying attention to you or paying attention to the connection. And it's because they've disconnected here. They've disconnected, and they've disconnected either because there's third-party energy, or, you know, it could be that something is spinning out of control in their life, but they're very disconnected from the connection. And you know what, Taurus, and it kind of bothers me a little, is that this person almost, it's almost like they believe that you're just always going to be there no matter what. No matter what happens, you're always going to be there. They can ignore you. They can be cold. They can even be, you know, unfaithful. And you're just always going to be there. And I don't think that that's the case. Let me see. Let me look at the King of Wands. Why is the King of Wands here? All right, Page of Swords. Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Cups. Yeah, they're looking at what do I need to do to salvage, you know, my situation here, so that I can, because this is not how I thought things were going to go. They're trying to move forward in a slow manner. They're trying to slow down whatever it is that is ending for them. They're trying to move forward in a more slow manner. So they're basically saying, this isn't the way I want this. How can I slow this process down? Now, they're also looking at you, and they don't want you to exit. Like I said, this person feels like you would always be there. They are still planning to move forward. And they're moving, this Knight of Pentacles is moving away from the connection because they feel that you are disconnecting as well, which in fact you are, because you don't want to deal with toxic energy. So you're freeing yourself from that, and you are working on yourself. And so I feel like you feel this person's been a player, you know, and there's karma. It's like they're receiving karma for what they've done. They don't want you to disconnect completely, though, but it could be because they're trying to figure out what they're going to do over here. They're watching you. They're watching you disconnect, and I feel like they're trying to figure out how that they can move forward, how they can slow down this whole process, not only with you, but in this other situation that seems to be going out of control. Let me see the energy between Taurus and this person. The Empress in reverse and the Page of Pentacles reversed. You don't really want to talk about it. You feel that this person doesn't have anything to offer you at this point. And I feel like, you know, you did wait. You waited for this person to actually come to you and want to heal the situation, want to do right by you, and they didn't do so. So you're basically saying, I've been sitting here worrying and stressing and waiting for this offer that never came. This is completely toxic. I'm dealing with a player. I'm just not doing this anymore. Now, I don't see you involved with anybody new, and I do see, Taurus, that you've had other people who are interested in you, but you're just not at a place where you're accepting those offers. I do see in this person's energy, they might be trying to say, hey, you know, Taurus, we can do this or we can do that, but you're not accepting whatever it is that they have to say. You're refusing, especially if it's financial, if they're wanting money, because I feel like you've been very, very patient with this person. You've been very giving. And I feel like at this point, you're like, no, we're not doing that. You're not going to suck me dry of everything that I have. This person is in a poverty mindset. I don't feel like they're giving to the connection, and, you know, they're not even being kind. I mean, their energy is very rejecting. They're very not, they're not nourishing the connection. They're not trying to, you know, come to you in a loving and kind and nurturing manner. And it's really because this person is definitely in a poverty mindset. It's related to whatever this is that's ending, but I also feel like this person has just really built emotional walls with regard to this connection. So it's like they're expecting you to always be there, always support, always give to them, but I don't feel that they're doing that in return. They're definitely having some financial issues. Let me see why the Five of Cups is here. Ace of Cups, and the World in reverse. Okay, so they're going to offer you, they're going to try to come to you, and they're going to come to you, Taurus, in your weakest moment. And they're going to say, hey, you know what? I haven't been, you know, giving to this relationship. I haven't been doing the things that I needed to. You know, this situation I'm going through has been devastating for me. However, you know, maybe we can revitalize this connection. There is unfinished business that is here, but it looks like this person makes you sad. I feel like when they do come to you, you're still going to be pulled back, but it's not over. It's not over between the two of you, and I do feel like this person is coming towards you after having been very cold and distant. It's almost like avenues are closing for them, and now they're saying, oh, well, you know, Taurus will always be there for me. So there is this Ace of Cups that they previously ignored, that they previously were focused on either third-party energy or other things. And now they're saying, yes, yes, we can have this. This person desperately needs to pour that love into themselves. I do feel like this is not over, though. There's unfinished business, but I also don't see you jumping in there because you don't trust this person. I don't see you just like jumping in there to, you know, give them financial or to invest in the connection either. So let me see your outcome, Taurus. Show me the outcome for Taurus. Hold on, Taurus. One of your cards fell. There we go. All right, so we have the Knight of Swords reversed. We have the Hermit in reverse. Ooh, King of Swords reversed. So I'm seeing Virgo energy here. Libra is very strong. Taurus energy, so you could be dealing with another Taurus. Because this person, by the way, is going to be trying to say that, you know, you weren't investing, so therefore that's why they pulled back. Don't listen to that. You could be dealing with an Aquarius or a Gemini as well. And then we have the Tower, possibly Scorpio. So in your outcome, I feel like you don't even want to get drawn back into this. You do not have the highest opinion of this person. Again, we're seeing this King of Swords in the reverse. So you know that this person's going through a difficult time, but you also don't trust them. You feel like this person, you know, comes in when they want something, and if they don't get what they want, they pitch a temper tantrum. You're tired of dealing with the toxic energy. Now, this person is going to come rushing in. You're not going to trust it. You've already done the soul searching. I see a conversation happening between you and this person where they basically are feeling you out. Will you move forward with them? You know, they're trying to avoid a tower moment in their life, basically. And they know that if you dip out, it's going to cause what their financial issue to be, you know, worse. It's going to cause things to be even more, you know, chaotic. So I feel like this person's going to come towards you in a very charming way. But when things don't go the way that, because they figured it out and you're part of the plan. And when things don't go exactly the way that they want them to, this person, it's going to start a big argument here. It's going to start a big argument. So there's definitely unfinished business here, but I feel like you're on to this person. I feel like you're doing a lot of healing on your own. And I feel like you're just not wanting to deal with somebody who's not being open, not being honest, not, you know, not giving you an equal give and take. And so I do feel like you're just going to go into a shutdown mode where you're not even going to want to talk to them after that. They're going to be very angry. I can see that because this is not going to go the way they want. There is a tower moment coming for this person, and it's based upon previous behaviors. It's based upon the karma that they have learned or earned. And it's based upon the fact that this person thinks that they can just smoosh their way out of situations that they don't like. And I feel like you're on to that, and you're not playing. You're not playing. So, bottom of the deck, Queen of Wands in the reverse. That's underlying energy. It does indicate that there could be some, you know, manipulation. Be careful if you're dealing with somebody, because I don't like seeing the Sun in reverse along with the Queen of Wands in reverse, because that could indicate that some of you could be dealing with somebody who dabbles in dark magic. It's not a good look, and so be very careful of that and make sure that you are protecting yourself. Also, it's telling me with the Queen of Wands that you have no desire to take action towards this person. At one point, I feel like this was a passionate connection, but you're no longer on the same page. You don't know if you ever will be again. You've become unhappy dealing with this person, but it also tells me that you're not, even though you're unhappy, you're not really taking action here. So again, I'm seeing that relationship almost where it's two people living parallel lives. So I'm going to pull an oracle card and we'll see if there's any more information. All right, Taurus. You have number 5. 5s are always about change. So there are changes coming. It's called potential and possibility. It's talking about your future, your highest self, and also quantum matters. It says, reach out to the potential that is calling for you. So let me read that for you. Give me just 1 second. All right, so your affirmation says, I am quantum leaping into my highest reality. The world, the quantum traveler. You are at a point where it's possible to lean into a higher reality. There are infinite potentials and parallel realities all happening at once. Which one are you living? Which one are you creating? What are you attracting? Break the cycle of mundane repetition and settling into dissatisfaction. Is there something you feel drawn to? Is there someone you admire who you'd like to emulate? Those feelings are pointing you to where your highest reality is. Even if you feel jealous of someone or something, this shows you what your true potential could be. Pay attention and don't judge the feeling as negative. It is your guide. You are capable of tuning into the quantum realm and manifesting a best-case scenario. The world is at your feet. Destiny is in the palm of your hand, and you are a co-creator with the universe, regardless of what is happening in the world, and as chaotic as it may seem. You are a powerful extension of divine consciousness, here to play, evolve, and enjoy life. Your mission is no different in the spiritual realm. Your soul has been evolving. So too are the lives you've been living. Attune your energy like an antenna to the channel of your desired reality. Your soul has brought you here to live one of your fullest lives ever. All right, so that's going to require some action on your side there, Taurus. You're going to have to disengage from this and, really move yourself into your highest possibility, your highest reality. All right, I hope this has been helpful. If you've resonated with this reading, Taurus, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video so other Taurus readers can, or Taurus listeners can hear the video. And until I see you in your next reading, know that you are loved, Taurus, and namaste.